Hello, welcome to Funnel Optics. This is Rob. For the past 20 years, I've been working on graphic design for motivational speakers, coaches, authors, marketers, all kinds of people. Some football stars, some comedians, WNBA stars, some celebrities, offline people, like offline businesses, all kinds of stuff. This video is to show you the kind of work I've done and the kind of work I can do for you. A lot of people use books as a lead magnet or as an authority piece to establish themselves as an authority in a certain market, as a thought leader. This is something that a lot of my clients do. Diverse kinds of markets, niches, all kinds of things. For one, I did for this guy, Rocky Bleier. He's a 4-time Super Bowl champion for the Steelers. And he was going into the retirement space. So I was provided with some photos from the NFL. I got to use the Steelers, the black and yellow with the aesthetic, and I actually got to speak at Rocky's event on book covers. So with it was Dan Kennedy, Rocky Bleier, and Matt Segula, and they invited me out to speak there in Ohio. It was a fun event, and there's a lot that goes into a book cover. But the best option is always just to hire someone to do it for you, so that way you don't mess it up. For Brendon Burchard, that was the first New York Times best-selling book that I got to work on, the cover art, and it was The Charge.
Hey everybody, it's Brendon Burchard, founder of Experts Academy and author of the #1 New York Times bestselling book, The Millionaire Messenger. And this is just a video to tell you about my man Rob. Their web design and their design in general is phenomenal. I can tell you that when you go to millionairemessenger.com and you look at that beautiful page, that was all Rob putting that thing up. It looks amazing. It broke records in selling books, but it also just rebranded me in an even more powerful light. I think Rob is one of the most talented designers I've ever seen. He's a true artist, not just a web guy or an internet marketing guy. He's a designer. He's an artist. And what he can do for your website and for your presence in general, just through the design, is game-changing and is brand-changing and brand-building. You should check it out. And obviously the back end of making you look awesome is invaluable, and you can't pay them enough money to do what they do because they're the best in the world. So I love them both, love working with them, enjoy it. They're real deal, real people, really care about their work, and obviously made this book and helped me run it up to the #1 just by making it look so great. So check their work out, hire them, work with them. I highly recommend them. Couldn't recommend them more.
Another big project that I've done was the Secrets series for Russell Brunson. And then similarly, I did the Expert Secrets book, which was, the second in the series. The last one is the most recent one I've done that I can talk about. I've done some others, but this is the one, the others are still in production and the launches are still on their way. So the one that I can talk about is Truthful Advertising by Napoleon Hill. So I went with a washed out, muted tones, like, there were very unsaturated colors that I wanted to use to harken back to the aesthetic of that era. For the background, since it was advertising, I wanted to go with like that the newspaper advertising look, and I picked the orange aesthetic because of the contrast that it would have with the font face and with the image. Branding doesn't just have to be the logo. Branding is like part of the ethos of the company, And Frank Kern is my homeboy. He's working on this project called State of the Internet Address. Frank Kern asked me to make the ads for Facebook, so I made a set of ads. And in those ads, I wanted to make like an iconic image to harken the political campaign type art. So I did my research and I found a John F. Kennedy pen that I liked. The second one is a logo I did for a friend of mine, Tony Hinchcliffe. I met him years ago at the Comedy Store, and I'd done some like canvas art for him and some flyers for the Comedy Store, posters for some of his tours. And for this, it was supposed to be like the huge backdrop that goes on like the stage. He was doing like I think it was a countrywide tour for Monster Energy, which was based on the idea of the golden pony and the Kill Bill colors, because he has this podcast called Kill Tony. And back in the day, they were more yellow. Now there's black and red. This was a kind of a new one for me. because I mean, although it's been around for a while, when it was approached to do it, I was like, all right, I mean, I'll do it. It was something like, you know, to do a gold record plaque, but style it in a way that's unique to ClickFunnels. Especially something like an award design, you always want it to be elegant. You know, you want it to, you know, be like an accolade. It is an accolade, so you want it to be beautiful, you know, almost royal, you know. I'm proud to have done it. I think it came out great. Funnel pages. This is where the rubber meets the road as far as conversions. This is crucial, some say the most important part of the entire process. Did a site for Lisa Leslie. She's a famous WNBA star. I did a bunch of them for Brendon Burchard, probably like 5 or 6, maybe more. Frank, the same. I did some for Russell Brunson and his funnels. You know, you got Dead Doctors Don't Lie. Local Conversation Domination was a super fun project. It's supposed to be local, so you got the telephone pole and the tearaways. Each little tab is the date you would select. You could actually click on it and you would select the date and then fill out your opt-in form. I've done stuff for Jordan Belfort, as you can see it. And if you're interested in having me do something fun and unique and interesting for your funnel pages, just fill out the form below and let me know. If you don't know, I've been doing professional art for a long time. I've sold thousands and thousands of pieces. Right behind this camera, I got cabinets full of canvases, paintings, things like that I still sell. Just a few notable ones that I enjoyed was the Dan Kennedy and Russell Brunson Magnetic Story Selling. It's one of the ones I did most recently. You'll notice on the back, like a magnetic coil. What can I put in there that says story? You know, those Greek amphitheaters, that it happens to have the same shape as this magnetic coil. And I tried putting them together and I'm like, oh, this works perfect. The more recent ones, I got to basically bring in, if I'm allowed to, as far as, you know, if it makes sense for the project, I'm allowed to bring in more experience from the art side of things that I do to make something not just effective on the sales side and, you know, make it work in a promotion, but also have like that long-term value of like, all right, no, this is something that it's art. It's not just design. There's a story to the imagery here. One of the first packaging projects that I got really known for was Mass Control. And he provided me the logo. I had to tweak it a little bit because I couldn't find the original file, but it was done by this designer named Dave Miz. So I was like, all right, let me theme everything the same layout, but with different, completely different themes to each module. Now that people actually, you know who I am and trust me into the marketing stuff, so designing wise, so I'm able to bring that back in with more authority now. So it's been good. In the top of the ClickFunnels logo, you had those, you know, the minimize, the expand, and close buttons that were just 3 dots, being the frame of the computer. And I was like, all right, let's see if we could use that. And instead of the negative space of those dots, let's activate them, because there's 3 colors. We could turn those 3 dots into an actual symbol. It worked well. You know, one thing is selling the shirt, and another thing is people actually wanting to wear it, and they love it. So I'm happy about it. I think it's a success. I'm sure you've seen it. You've probably worn it.
Hey, my name is Russell Brunson, and for the last 16 years, I've been working with a guy named Rob Cicadas, designing all sorts of branding. And you've probably seen some of the stuff on the internet. If you've seen any of the 2 Comic Club Awards, that was originally all designed by Rob. You've seen my book covers, my books for projects with Dan Kennedy. He's been doing this stuff for us for a long time. He even painted my entire wrestling room at my house, and a whole bunch of other projects. He's amazing at what he does. And so if you're looking for someone to help you with branding, consulting, design, all that kind of stuff, he's someone I've been using now for over 16 years. And the proof's in the pudding. I don't even know how many how many millions of things we printed with Rob's designs on. In fact, here's new stuff coming in just today he's working on. There's all sorts of cool stuff. And so if you want someone who's creative and amazing at this, he's one of the best. And like I said, I've been working with him for 16 years, so that shows how much I love him, how much I trust him, and you should work with him as well.
Okay, so how do we work together? Pretty simple. I'm sure you figured it out by now. You fill out the contact form, and I'll be in touch.